Yeah, we know what we're talking about. Matt Gibbs in the guys over at Sunrise Automotive will treat you right. We'll treat you right.
Yeah, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. You know, it's good to have a mechanic you can trust and who knows you and who knows your vehicle. And I have one. His name is Matt Gibbs. And Sunrise Automotive is where I bring my car when it breaks down. Last night I had a dream that my right rear tire came off. So I'm going to ask for some dream counseling because I got up this morning. I was so happy to see that nothing was wrong with it. The phone lines are open if you have a question for Matt. He is live today as opposed to some other days. The number is 622-9622. How you doing?
I am doing well.
I am a news guy. And so there was a news story this morning I wanted to bring to your attention.
Okay.
All right, ready?
Yep.
Here it is. I had it up here so I could read it to you.
Is it about self-driving cars?
No.
Oh, okay.
You're tired of that topic, aren't you? Mm-hmm. All right. This is from the California Institute of Technology. The headline says, new materials could turn water into the fuel of the future. Now, so I'll just read the first paragraph. Researchers at Caltech and Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory have in just 2 years nearly doubled the number of materials known to have potential for use in solar fuels. They did so by developing a process that promises to speed the discovery of commercially viable solar fuels that could replace coal, oil, and other fossil fuels. Solar fuels, a dream of clean energy research, are created using only sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide. Is this what you did? I mean, didn't you create something that used water?
I did, but it was creating hydrogen.
And creating hydrogen from water?
Yes.
And what is the byproduct of that? Water?
The byproduct of...
Like when you burn hydrogen, like if you take water apart and burn the hydrogen, what is the byproduct? Is it water?
No.
No? Oh. Well, I mean, I know there's a lot of water on the planet, but I mean, if we all started driving cars that burned water, would we be in a big problem soon?
I don't think so.
No? There's enough water to go
Well,
around?
I mean, it's something that's replenished. I mean, I don't know what the long-term effect is. I'm sure that there's somebody that'll tell us what the long-term effect is, because by golly, they tell us the long-term effect of everything else.
All right, here's what NASA does. Listen to this. On the space station, right where they are right now,
okay.
NASA uses hydrogen fuel to launch the space shuttle, so that just shoots it up there, right? And then they also use it to make water up in the space station. They make water. They do something. If I read the whole thing, I would have to take all your show up. But that's the gist of what the article says. So somehow hydrogen can be combined, I guess, with oxygen by us, by man, and create water.
You know, when I created the hydrogen cell, it was Joey's 8th grade science project. That's what got this whole thing started.
Isn't that amazing? Wow.
And then so we actually created the generator, the hydrogen generator, and then me and Joey applied it to automotive use, and actually that's when we made the car run on that fuel, on the hydrogen. And
so don't you really have the right to claim this as yours?
No. There was a lot of it was back when gas was $5 a gallon. All kinds of people were doing all kinds of crazy things.
So what is this Berkeley thing? This Berkeley thing sounds like they're coming up with something new, but it sounds like you did it already.
No, because you kept saying something about solar, and while you were reading that, and the solar just kept popping in my head.
I know.
But
the headline says new materials could turn water into the fuel of the future.
It's.
Can I read that part? Each water molecule is comprised of an oxygen atom and 2 hydrogen atoms. I know that's basic science. The hydrogen atoms are extracted and then can be reunited. I'm not sure where the solar part comes in. Oh, the problem, however, is that water molecules do not simply break down when sunlight shines on them. Obviously. So God is smart. God figured out a way.
Oh, he's got it all figured out.
Take water, it'll evaporate, go up to the mountains, trickle down. We have something to drink.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
He is amazing.
So, okay, I guess I was just looking at this and thinking, is this new? I thought you told us about something like this.
I don't know exactly what all.
Because this was in the news this morning.
I guarantee you, those guys at Caltech,
yeah,
they're way smarter than me.
Not necessarily.
No.
I mean, what if you and your son stumbled upon something?
We didn't stumble upon it. It's just basic physics.
Okay,
you know what I'm
so
saying?
Hydrogen fuel cells power the space station's electrical system, producing clean byproduct, which is pure water, and the crew drinks it. Now that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
So you break down water, and then you make more water. So we're going to have wet highways. The highways will all be wet. They'll be coming out the exhaust pipe.
Yes, I was going to say. But that will just be steam, and then that steam will go back up into the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying?
That is amazing, really.
There, you know, the technology. Here's going to be the problem, and this is the problem with the technology, and there's so many things that come from the automotive industry. You know, people will create, because it's a huge industry, which means that there's a lot of money exchanging hands.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people will start developing something in the automotive industry, and then somebody else will look at it and say, "Oh my gosh, that's awesome. We can use that in our industry."
It's something else, yeah.
You know, so there's something birthed out of the auto industry.
And you have a phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Matt.
Good morning, Matt. Larry, this is Bradley calling. I have a question for Matt. Some people change the transmission fluid by inserting a tube down in the dipstick tube and sucking the fluid out, and that might be okay, but the question, Matt, is what about the screen? Does the screen need changed? What about the fluid in the torque converter? What's your take on that?
Okay. Well, definitely, there are transmissions out there that are what we call drain and refill. They're a sealed unit. Some of them actually will have a screw-on type transmission filter, like an oil filter almost, and you replace it. If it's a serviceable transmission, I say service it. If we drop the pan on it and it has a screen in it, let's drop the pan on it and replace the screen. There are some applications where you just literally drain the fluid, fill it up. Now here's and what he was talking about as far as the torque converter, there are some models, and it was mostly several years ago, that the torque converter would actually have a drain plug on it. And you could turn the torque converter to where it's facing down, pull the plug out, and actually drain the fluid out of the torque converter. Most of them don't do that anymore. Just like a lot of the ball joints and front end parts, you can't grease them anymore. There's no grease fittings anymore. But back in the day, there was several torque converters you could drain. This is my thought on the whole process. If you're servicing it the way you're supposed to service it, then it's the fluid that's left over in the torque converter is not that big a deal. You're changing, you know, if the transmission holds 12 quarts, you're probably going to drain 5 or 6 quarts out of it, depending on the year, make, and model of the car, and that's okay, because you at least change half of the fluid in it and put nice new fresh stuff in there. If the transmission has an issue and we're doing it because it's starting to slip, it smells burn, you know, at the end of the day, it's probably gonna fail and leave you stranded on the side of the road somewhere down the line if you haven't serviced it the way it's supposed to be serviced. My biggest thing is do the maintenance, do the service when the manufacturer is asking you to do it. And we need to, here where we live in Ocala, Florida, we need to pay close attention, and when we read our service manuals, that we live in a area that is under extreme conditions. A lot of times the owner's manual will tell you, and they'll put this in writing, under normal driving conditions, this is what we recommend, and in severe driving conditions, this is what we recommend. We are in a severe condition environment
because of the heat. Because
of our heat. And you know, and if we do what we're supposed to do, then our car is just gonna last better, it's gonna perform better, everything is gonna work better. But if we wait till we have issues and start having problems, unfortunately, it typically will cost us a lot more money.
Okay, thank you very much for that information, Matt.
You're welcome.
All right. Yeah.
Bye.
Wow, I never heard of siphoning it out through the tube.
Yeah, there are some that I have a 2005 Ford Mustang that came in the other day, and the transmission's acting funny. Well, whenever you have a transmission acting funny, the first thing you do is check the fluid level. You check the level and you smell the fluid. That's what you do. Well, you can't check the fluid level on a 2005 Ford Mustang.
Really?
It doesn't have a dipstick.
Wow.
You have to bring it to a shop, and you have to have a special tool, and you have to check it. It's not just pulling a stick. There's a special tool required. And some of the new ones,
wow,
you have to have a computer, a scan tool.
Wow. The cars are so different today. Joe was telling us he changed Patsy's battery and had to remove the back seat.
Right.
What's the matter? What is that design? All right, we do have another phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Matt.
Yeah, what about this gas? We've got the corn gas. What's it do? Can you tell me, is this good or bad, or what's going on with it? Thank you.
You're welcome. The ethanol gas, if you look at every pump, whenever you get gas, it'll tell you that there is less than 10%. I think it's less than 10% is what the sticker actually says.
Yeah, right.
On all the gas pumps that this contains ethanol gas. Here's the deal. If this is your car that you drive every single day, you go to work, you go to school, you pick up the kids, you go to the grocery store, this is your everyday driver, drive the car. Don't worry about it. If it's a car, a classic car, a special car, it's the car that you take out once a month.
Right.
Then you might want to just not get ethanol. You might want to find gas, and like right down the road from the shop is the gas station with the cars on the roof.
Sunoco.
Yeah, Sunoco.
Yeah.
They sell non-ethanol gas. And if you're a boater and you have recreational vehicles, motorcycles, boats, four-wheelers, those folks are kind of trained. They're taught not to put ethanol in their cars, in their vehicles or toys. That's the same thing with a car. If it's something it's a classic. I got one down at the shop now, a '69 RS Camaro convertible. We don't want to use ethanol in there.
And why? What's the difference?
Well, what happens with the ethanol is, especially if it's a carbureted engine, you'll see a lot of times if they sit up for a while, then you go to start it and it runs like junk. It's running horrible, and a lot of times it has to do with a fuel delivery issue. So you'll take the bowl off the carburetor, because what happens is in an engine with a carburetor, if it sits for a while, that gas will actually it'll evaporate, it'll drain down into the crankcase, and then there's like this white powdery substance that just is everywhere, and you got to take it apart, clean out the jets, and wash it out. And it's funny because I use like WD-40. I'll clean a carburetor with WD-40. It seems to really break up that residue that the ethanol leaves behind. So, and then if you have cars with electric fuel pumps, you got this residue that may build up in there and stuff like that. That's because of the ethanol. That's because of the alcohol content. So if you have a vehicle that is not used every day, motorhomes, boats, four-wheelers, just get non-alcohol, non-ethanol gas. And like in my boat, that's all. I never put, unless I know my son is bringing a bunch of his friends over and they're going to be out on the water all day long, I will use ethanol because I know that I'm going to use it all up.
Do you know, there was a story, and I want to ask you this before we go to the break. There was a story about the pumps that offer both the gas with ethanol and the pure gas, but they both come out of the same hose. So the last person who used it if the last person who used that hose had the ethanol blend, then the next person who uses it is going to get whatever's in that hose still. Is that an issue?
Nah, that wouldn't be an issue.
Just that little bit wouldn't matter? Okay. All right, let's take a little break. And I love the questions. Call in with your questions. The number is 622-9622. Matt is here to answer those questions. And, of course, he's at his shop to fix the problem. And the shop is called Sunrise Automotive. It's right here in Ocala on Northwest 10th Street. The address is 1800 Northwest 10th Street. It is where I bring my car, knock on granite. I'm not superstitious, Matt, but you know me. I'm superstitious. And of course, Robin brings her car there. Robin's mom brings her car there, although she's got a new car now, so she hasn't brought her car in a while. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. On this Tuesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. A pretty nice day overall. There can be a shower along the coast. High 76 at the coast, 81 inland, and partly cloudy through the night, low 59 to 63. Wednesday, times of sun and clouds with a shower in spots along the coast, high 80 to 84. Thursday, partly sunny with a shower in spots, the high 79 at the coast, 84 inland. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hi, my name is Erica Olstein. I'm a doctor of acupuncture and oriental medicine. So, you used to be wired, now you're just tired. You used to be thin, but now you're the heaviest you've ever been. You don't necessarily always have to take a med if your thyroid is playing dead. If you have a thyroid disorder, an acupuncture visit may be in order. Come visit me, your primary care physician, Erica Olstein, at A Better You Healthcare. Call me at 352-615-5566.
What you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
More women are waiting until their 30s to have their first child. But that means wannabe grandparents have to wait longer to start spoiling future grandkids. Thousands of people were surveyed recently, and the majority feel the most stress when their phone battery dips below 20%. We form the strongest, most emotionally supportive friendships with our colleagues, and that's especially true at intense, high-stress workplaces.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Coming this and every second Friday of the month at 11 a.m. is Trinity Healthcare Medical Center with your host, Dr. David Kuhn. Trinity Healthcare Medical Center is Ocala's only progressive primary care clinic. Be sure to listen in and also check their website at thcmc.com. Then call them with your questions at 512-0000. That's 512-0000. That's every second Friday at 11 a.m. for Trinity Healthcare Medical Center here on The Source WOCA.
1 in 26 individuals live with epilepsy. 400,000 of them live right here in Florida. Help spread awareness of epilepsy by attending the 2017 Epilepsy Foundation of Florida's Gainesville Walk the Talk event on Saturday, March 25th at the University of Florida. Register today at efof.org/walkthetalk.
Here is a 30-second news brief from The Source. WOCA Enterprise Florida CEO Chris Hart resigned yesterday, 2 months after taking the job. Florida cities are crying foul over a bill that prevents them from imposing new rules on businesses without state permission. The University of Florida fired women's basketball coach Amanda Butler, and human bones discovered under a wine shop in St. Augustine are believed to be from the 16th century. And that is your 30-second news brief from The Source. That was fast. 23 minutes after 10 o'clock. Matt Gibbs is here from Sunrise Automotive and Crossroad Auto Sales, which is where I got my car. I have a Buick, a 2005 Buick. I'm happy with the 2005. Sometimes when I hear some of the stories about the newer ones, I don't know that I want a newer one. And Matt, you do have a phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Matt.
Morning, guys, and Matt.
Hello, you.
Say, my stepson bought a Saab here not too a while back. Got a good deal on it on a 2001. He changes his own oil and stuff and that, and the car requires synthetic oil, and it requires either 0 or 5W40. And when I looked on the container when he bought a Mobile One product, it had said for European cars. 5W40. Why does European cars need 5W40?
I don't know, because that's what they probably need. I mean, why they came up with 5W40, I have no idea. To me, that's what their engineering and their research and their development. They spend all the millions of dollars and all the research, and that's what they come up with, and the way that they machine the engines, the way they build them. that the best and most efficient way for this to work is this with this oil, and that's why they come up with stuff. Yesterday we were dealing with an issue where a Toyota, I believe it was a Toyota product, where the recommended oil was X, and now Toyota has come back and released a TSB and said, we don't want to use that oil anymore, we want to use this oil. And I remember back in the day when I was working at the dealership for General Motors, we always changed. Back in the middle 80s, we changed the oil. 1040 was what GM recommended for all the cars, and then they came out and said no more. It stops here. It stops now. We're not going to do that. We're going to do 1030 now, because they found out that 1040 causes this issue. We didn't find out that 1040 causes that issue. The manufacturer did, and we were all told from this moment on, we're no longer using 1040. We're going to use 1030. So they came up. There was a reason they came up with changing the grade of oil, and I'm not. And to me, with all the things that I got to remember and all the things that I got to do, to me, that's not an important issue for me to study and research. I'm just going to take their word for it. They know what they're doing.
That makes sense, yeah.
And I'm just going to remember that, that this car has this problem, and in order for me to fix that problem, this is what I got to do, and that's what I store in my brain. I mean, I can remember, I can remember things that I did 20 years ago on a car, and I don't understand why I remember why I did that 20 years ago on a car.
Makes sense.
Why did I remember this?
If you have several different cans of oil, different brands, but it's the same weight, can you mix those?
Yeah, you can. You can mix them. You can do whatever you want to. My deal is if you're in a pinch, put something in there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Get something in there, because we can always drain that out and fix it. If you're in a pinch and you use Schaefer's oil on this oil change, and you're a quart low and you're just not feeling good, put something in there just to bring it up to the operating level it's supposed to be.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
By the way, I just shared with you on your Facebook thing the article about the material, the Berkeley article, because I think if you read it, I'm sure I didn't do it justice, but so I want you to see it when you get a chance. By the way, it's the first message I've sent you since 2014.
Wow.
Obviously, I don't send you very many messages.
No, you don't, Larry.
Wow, 2 minutes left in the show. So if you have a problem with your car, it's easy for me to recommend Matt, because Matt always treats me right, treats me fair, gets the job done quickly, and diagnoses it probably in less than a day normally. It depends on how many cars are ahead of me. And that whole maintenance message that you like to give over and over and over again, it's really sinking in finally.
It's just so important.
I just got to bring it to you. That's the important part. That's my part. I got to bring the car to you.
That's like I was supposed to go to the doctor this morning.
You didn't bring your body to the doctor?
No, I didn't. I didn't go to. And I'm like the world's worst doctor kind of person, but I have realized that if I don't go to the doctor, then I'm gonna break down. He helps me not break down.
You don't want to break down.
I don't want to break down. I don't have time to break down. So I go to the doctor.
That's right, yeah.
I mean, we take care of our. I don't take care of myself the way I should take care of myself, but I'm starting to really understand, and I'm changing my ways.
Are you?
Yes. I have not had a Diet Coke in over a month. Can you believe that? I drink 10 of them things a day.
Oh, that was my question. How many were you drinking? Yeah.
I haven't had one in a month, because the doctor said, them things are bad for you, son.
Give Matt a call. The number over at Sunrise Automotive is 690-1993. Correct?
That's correct.
And I'm not lying to any of you. This is where Robert and I go, and it is the place where I would recommend you go, simply because of everything I said. Fair, cheap, quick, and fun, and Christian.
Yes.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. Some members of the president's own party weighing in on the health care plan unveiled by House Republicans last night. The president tweeting this morning, our wonderful new health care laws now out for review and negotiation. Republican Senator Rand Paul telling Fox and Friends.
Well, I like the president's statement that it's up for negotiation, and I think those have begun.
Paul, one of the conservatives who objects.
It won't work. Premiums and prices will continue to spiral out of control. In fact, they acknowledge it in their own bill by putting an insurance company bailout, $100 billion at least in insurance company bailouts because the marketplace is still broken.
Democrats oppose repealing Obamacare, saying they suspect the plan will leave far fewer Americans with coverage. And one of the world's most famous spies returning after more than a quarter of a century, John le Carré again writing about George Smiley in A Legacy of Spies. Fox News, we report, you decide.
In business, risks and rewards come with every decision, like moving to the cloud with Office 365. While its benefits include anywhere access and lower costs, cyber threats and user errors can quickly wipe out data and the money you save. Barracuda Essentials for Office 365 provide an added layer of security and functionality for threat protection, email migration, data recovery, and quality of service. Move securely to Office 365. Visit barracuda.com/essentials to learn more.
Napa know-how.
Spend $24 on anything at Napa this month, and you'll get a free Chase Elliott racing cap. You can spend it on oil. You can spend it on wiper blades. Heck, spend it on a year's supply of Pine Tree air fresheners. No matter what you spend $24 on, you'll walk away with a free Chase Elliott racing cap planted firmly on your noggin. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores while supplies last. Offer expires 3/31/17.
This is Jan Marino from Palm Garden. So often when you advertise, it's hard to quantify whether your efforts are effective. But I have a success story. In my travels to medical offices, I ran across someone who recognized my voice from the radio and told me that they felt like they already knew me because of my association with WOCA. My message to you, they're out there, they're listening. Truly, radio gets results. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, WOCA, The Source.
Tired of looking at stained carpets, dirty tile, or grout? Call Silverback Restoration, 414-5312. Make your flooring look great again. Stains, pet odors, allergies. Call Silverback Restoration, 414-5312. From serving our country to serving our community. Silverback Restoration, 414-5312. Residential and commercial. Their work is guaranteed along with your satisfaction. Check their website, silverbackrestoration.com. Radio gets results.
We'll get advertisers just because they saw the success of the help we gave to a nonprofit. That's what I like.
The Marion County Literacy Council.
Vets Helping Vets, the Arnett House, Habitat for Humanity. And what goes around comes around. So many great advertisers have chosen WOCA to advertise their services and their products simply because they saw the power during a public service campaign.
Radio gets results.
Hey Ocala, this is Kelly Hart, Executive Editor of Ocala Magazine. Did you know last year Ocala Magazine won more awards in excellence than any other publication in Florida? And this year, Ocala Magazine was named Best Consumer Magazine in the state. Now you can join me every Friday at 10 a.m. on Ocala Magazine Radio, where we bring the pages of Ocala Magazine to life, right here on The Source. Ocala Magazine thanks you for making us #1. And remember, there is only one Ocala Magazine.
Hi, I'm Leah Caruso with Strive Rehabilitation, inviting you to tune in to the first and third Thursday of the month at 11 a.m. to learn about the latest advances in healthcare available right here at home. Ocala Regional Medical Center and Strive have teamed up to bring the most qualified medical professionals on the air to answer your questions and bring